So why don't you use the regular army? What do you need us for?
Because some damn fool accused you of being the best.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Yeah, all right. Hey.
I believe that I forgot to make some things this week.
It's still perfect. It's the perfect scene. Just like, boom.
I work with nothing.
You should have had the words just like fighting with each other for a little while.
I thought about explosions.
Yeah. Hey, this is Spark Madness Podcast. We do, we talk about movies and do intense high fives.
God.
I'm Matt. That's Aaron over at the controls. And Ben is here too, somewhere.
Oh, it's scary.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Wonderful. I loved it. Okay, Matt, will you take over while we reset everything?
Yeah. Such an elaborate, like to get you to walk across, put the green screen back up. That's literally what's happening right now is Aaron's going to have to go back and put the green screen while Ben walks around. Just get back over here. What?
Made you look.
Okay.
All right.
If you're, this is great for the listeners who have no idea what's going on. We're having fun with green screen because this is the movie that uses a lot of cloaking stuff.
Yes, it is. They use Klingon technology. It's stolen from the Romulans.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk style.
So we're going to be talking about the movie Predator, not The Predator. That. Whoop.
Hey, what are you doing, Matt?
Turn that off. We're going to copyright our own stream.
Audio just came on.
You got flagged.
Yeah,
we're going to flag ourselves.
Yeah.
What the hell are you?
Okay, so we're gonna do the Predator, or not The Predator. I just made that joke. That movie's the new one's coming out next week. What, 5th, 6th in the series, or how many of these have there been?
There's 4 Predators.
I think it's 4, yeah.
4, including all the others.
We're not counting
Alien versus Predator is not part of this.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't count.
So there's Predators, or Predator, Predator 2, Predators, now The Predator.
There's a Predators.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never seen Predators?
I've only seen I've only seen this movie.
It was Robert Rodriguez. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Oh. It's kind of similar. There's like in the preview for the new Predator, for that Predator, there's a Super Predator.
Which is the same as the last movie.
They had Super Predators in the last movie. They were better Predators than the hybrid ones.
Yeah, maybe they'll do something different. Who knows?
Yeah. This one's a little bit bigger.
I mean, the last one was pretty big.
A little bit bigger.
Yeah, but it
was pretty big.
So we're going to talk about Predator today. If you're new to this podcast, usually we'll talk about a movie, maybe several movies, and compare them, and then at the end we'll give our kind of rating recommendation. But we're going to do something different this time, right?
I mean, perhaps we will discuss whether or not it is a Hall of Fame movie.
Whoa! You had that ready.
It actually works now.
Yeah.
It hasn't worked in a while. Woo. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, so this is kind of a special one. We haven't done a solo Hall of, like a dedicated Hall of Fame one in a while.
The last one was Blade Runner that I recall.
I know we did Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
Gremlins
didn't make it.
Gremlins didn't make it. You guys didn't vote for it. I voted for that one.
It was good.
The last one that we had a conversation about this that I remember was for Glory.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we all kind of...
Yeah.
It was kind of an almost.
Reluctantly... I thought we put it in.
Did we?
Maybe not.
I might not
See,
have voted.
we were all very much on the fence if it made it for a great movie. That's the whole thing with this podcast, or with this type of episode, is that it's a very good movie. We're actually going to talk about how good is it, and should it be in the Movie Hall of Fame, right?
That's enough!
No. If it bleeds. I said it before.
That's 2.
Are these your lunches? Are you in other people's predators' lunches?
Stop it!
Stop it! Get your own! Get the ferret! Kill it! Get down!
I'm just going to keep going through them all.
There's plenty to work from.
Nice to meet you.
See you at the party, Richter.
What I tell you, Mr. Bane, whoever has the biggest bomb wins.
Who wants to do the synopsis that isn't?
Let me tell you how it goes.
I think Ben should do it because you were
no.
What?
Aaron should do it.
Oh, not gay. I want Matt to do it because he hasn't seen the movie as many times as us.
Yeah.
I was going to make the opposite argument that you saw it so many times that you didn't need to prepare for this podcast by rewatching
We want an outside perspective.
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is good for TV.
It's in our blood.
So, the Predator...
Fake news. Fake. False.
Predator, 1987. I don't remember who the director is.
John McTiernan.
Probably
the greatest action director of all time.
He's great.
He probably is.
He's great.
Just in the moment, because you brought that up, what other
He
stuff?
has directed movies such as Die Hard, probably one of the greatest action movies of all time.
It's in the top 5. What is Die Hard?
What?
Get out of our podcast.
Get out of here now! Matt, you're a bastard!
What else? What other than Die Hard?
He directed The Hunt for Red October.
Also good.
Very good.
You love that.
What else did he direct? He directed The Last Action Hero.
Vamp.
No, he directed a lot of stuff.
I mean, if you're putting on his resume Predator and
Die Hard and Hunt for October,
that's a good resume.
That's a little.
Right
That's a pretty diverse.
Nomads, Predator, Die Hard, The Hunt for Red October.
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Flight of the Intruder, Medicine Man. That one was pretty good. Last Action Hero, also good. It was too long. The 13th Warrior. Rollerball. Anyway.
He's the best action.
Back to Predator.
No, but he is. He's really good. And his background, from what I understand, is a very dramatic background. He wasn't like a military guy. He was very theater. And so he understood
always falling down and crying. It was very dramatic.
But you understand the acting and the storytelling. And I think that's why his action movies are good, because you really care about the characters.
So how does he play that through in Predator?
The band of brothers, the bond of these brothers.
And that's how the movie starts, right? Mm-hmm. And then what happens?
And people die. God,
people die.
I was trying to get you to do the synopsis.
People die one by one. They care about each other.
In scripting 101, it's called They Fight.
They fight.
Yeah.
The Predator picks them off one by one.
Which is... Whatever. People probably listen to this kind of understand it.
Deep in the jungle, army forces keep getting wiped out, and these people don't know why, so they send in the best of the best.
But the
hostage situation.
Key detail though is that they start the movie off with a spaceship, like a spaceship.
Well, and that was not the director's decision.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have done that either.
That was the producer's decision. And I think it would have been better if they didn't.
Better if they didn't, but it's fine.
The way the first, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little later. Yeah. So they think it's a big hostage situation, and ultimately
it's so much more.
It's kind of that plus a alien predator.
Plus, it's got the predator. He's scary.
He's very cool. He's very cool. He's a bigger humanoid than me.
The Predator almost was played by who, Ben?
Jean-Claude Van Damme. It was played by Jean-Claude Van Damme.
For a few shots, yeah.
It was a different design.
Plus, I think he was just too short for that.
And some of the red suit, because they had to wear a red suit in the jungle so they could do that keen. Yeah. And some of the red shots where you see the figure of the Predator in there.
It's pretty silly.
It's actually really Jean-Claude Van Damme in some of those shots.
Interesting.
That they just key differently. But so
he kept doing high kicks. So
this was this movie. So anyway, so it's a big action movie about these guys that go in the jungle, and they find out they get killed by one by this invisible threat. They don't know what it is.
There's no tracks. There's nothing. No remnants whatsoever.
It's a hunting species from another world that likes to hunt.
Not like in a animalistic way though. It's
like a warrior.
It's a very
for sport. For sport. Yeah.
For sport and honor. Very Klingon race kind of thing. But they don't explain them. They don't explain the Predator. Which is awesome. Which is because it's much more unknown and scary and pretty cool.
Any attempt to further give them backstory, I bite my finger.
And you don't see the Predator until like the very, very end, kind of like the Jaws situation. It had a very similar production problem as Jaws, because the original design of the Predator was terrible, and so they had to stop shooting. And it was just they shot in the jungle, for crying out loud. They really shot in the jungle. It was a really intense shoot to do, and they said they had to cut a lot of the woods out because there was so much foliage.
It's just so thick.
They're so thick.
Can't even.
They even said like.
The foliage was foliage.
Well, they say even shooting a scene, you can't even tell where you're shooting at. Like it's just like so they had to cut out stuff to even get dimensions because it's just so much green.
But it's great for continuity because there's no way to tell if you got it wrong.
That's right.
No, but they did a lot of extra work and like it was a grueling shoot. They said.
Plus, it was hot.
But what
The mosquitoes.
But what happened? Here's a story. Here's a really interesting story. This movie may not have happened. Arnold Schwarzenegger was not really Arnold Schwarzenegger yet. He just came off of doing Terminator, the first one, which he was nobody then. He was just a bodybuilder.
Just a big guy.
But this is like one of the first movies that took him to the next level. And they knew the suit wasn't working. So they had to take off, and they wanted to redesign. They had to figure out how to redesign this thing, and they called Stan Winston. This is one of Stan Winston's... The guy who created the T-Rex, in Jurassic Park, plenty of things.
Iconic.
Yeah. I can't credit him for Aliens, but he did. You can credit him for making the Aliens in Aliens, but he didn't create the original design for that. So he worked on both Aliens and Predator, which was a cool thing.
That's almost as good, if not better, a resume considering his contribution than what we're talking about for the director side for this movie.
What?
Oh, forget it.
Okay.
Like the director of this movie we were talking earlier, his action resume is so good. Die Hard, Predator, blah, blah, blah. Stan Winston, Aliens, this Predator, Jurassic Park, like
ton of stuff. Terminator.
This movie was stacked.
So he was. So the story goes like this: he's on an air flight to go meet with these filmmakers in Los Angeles to design this suit, and he was designing the monster, and he shared a flight because he was friends with. Somehow they were working on something, but they would take the same flight with James Cameron, and James Cameron said, "Wouldn't it be cool to see a creature with mandibles?" So like on the Predator. So he drew that in, and he had the mask and all these different things, and that's kind of how the story. And they said it would be cooler to have a bigger humanoid, like that, like something bigger than everybody else. So they cast this guy named Kevin Peter Hall, I think his name.
That's correct.
Yeah, who is?
I think he's deceased.
He died 7'4", 7'5". He died in a car. So he was in a car accident in Los Angeles in late '80s. His career was taken off, and he's actually makes a cameo in the movie too as a human being, as the Predator. So he's the helicopter pilot at the end that says, "You doing all right, man?"
Oh,
that's him.
That's cool.
And he's a trained actor, but this is his tragic death. He got in a car wreck in Los Angeles. They took him to the hospital. This is in the 80s when it was really loose with blood transfusions and stuff. So he had to get a blood transfusion. The blood that he got had HIV, and he died of HIV. Isn't that terrible?
Awful.
So young.
That's really.
Do you know what? Do you know what else he's in? One of my favorite movies of all time. He's Harry Henderson. He did Harry Henderson before. He was Harry. So the Predator is Harry.
Okay. It is all full circle.
That's great.
It does.
Everything comes back.
But he's a good actor. Like even in a suit.
He moved the mouth.
Yeah, his movements were good. Yeah.
And they said he physically, like, of course, Arnold jumped with him, but he physically pinned Arnold to the, like, that's how strong and big he was. He physically pinned him to the tree at that one point.
Wow.
But there wasn't any wires or anything like that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's the most impressive thing you've
Be
said.
a little less rough with my rib cage.
You're predatoring me all over the place. Hashtag me too. He groped me with his predator arms. No, but this movie.
You'll never work in this town again.
You ugly motherfucker. Okay.
Oh my.
Well, so before we get into anything else, there's Carl Weathers, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Carl Weathers.
Oh my god. Nobody but us will get that.
That's a Game Sharks reference. I don't know if we've got a couple people watching. So here we go. We're going to transition right into the actual meat of this podcast. Time to decide if we
take a flank stick.
if we're going to put Predator into the movie Hall of Fame. I say we start with we'll just split it in half and then we'll make a choice. The case for it and the case against it.
Okay.
The things that go against it and all the things that we like.
All right,
let's start
it's
there.
It's going to be a lopsided 2 segments.
I figured.
We're going to hunt him down.
So what's the case for the movie?
It's awesome. QED.
This is with piggybacking on Aaron's comment.
I also think it is awesome.
I think I've said it all, but expound, please.
I will try my best. It's great. No,
Excellent point.
So this is a movie that's happened to me on several occasions. They used to show this on like AMC or TNT back in the day.
And TNT.
And it's like, summertime. You're a young teenager.
Dad's grilling.
It's 2 a.m. and you're doing
and Dad's grilling.
Doesn't
your dad night grill? Mine does.
He does. Grilling like a beast.
Have you been night putting?
And you're dead tired, and you're doing one last channel surf through all the cables, the cable channels. You're going like nothing's on. Oh shit! Predator's just starting.
Looks like I know what I'm doing tonight.
You gotta watch Predator. The full movie, like freshly started.
I believe
you hear the music, you're like, I gotta watch Predator.
As far as I can tell, every male born after 1987 has the movie encoded into their DNA. It's hard to explain.
It's definitely a male movie. It's definitely not.
Well, given that the only female character is just like literally dragged into it, and is just like a little prop. Although I'm curious because I don't know the answer to this. Was she talking about that a predator comes to that spot all the time at one point in the movie?
What?
I believe so.
Right? Doesn't she say that?
She at least talks about it, yeah.
Yeah, that like it's when it gets hot like this creature comes all the time. Like she mentioned that at one point, didn't she?
Maybe. Yeah. So maybe this is a hunting ground.
Yeah. I thought that was super. She had a really interesting, like, oh, this thing comes here all the time.
Well, they painted more.
Like, that's pretty cool.
They painted more lore with the Predators in Predator 2, which is not as good.
It still has
it's not
moments.
Bad.
Well, but this movie,
but to piggyback on your point, it was at the very end of Predator 2, which I'll ruin it for everybody right now.
Loved it.
Danny Glover destroys the Predator, but he gets caught up in the ship, and there's other Predators there, and for his reward, because you defeated our brethren, he gets an artifact, a gift from them, and it's a gun, and it's like an old 1800 gun, and
it's been coming here for a long time.
They've been coming here forever.
Yeah. Pistol.
I think that's actually an interesting.
Take it.
That's an interesting place to start for me.
And there's an alien skull in the glass.
Yeah.
That's where
I've seen that.
Not canon.
I think that's an interesting. You kind of hinted at it earlier, Aaron, about how this movie gives just enough to get to latch on to a little bit of background for this character, but you don't need enough.
No,
you don't need any more than
the better.
that.
But that's the intrigue.
It's kind of a mystery.
That's why he's scary.
Yeah,
that's why it's scary. So
it's very horror.
It is. But here's
slasher type.
Here's why this movie does good. Like, here's part of the good category. It's not just an action movie; it's a horror movie too.
Yeah, and sci-fi
and science fiction. But here's why it's his own thing, and this is nothing's ever done this before until Predator. This own kind of thing, and you can't. There's no other movie like it. The thing about it is, most slasher movies, say like Halloween, you have Jamie Lee Curtis as they cast women, and not to say that women are strong. You know what I mean?
You mean aren't strong?
Are not strong. Okay. It's just like a creepy killer chasing off someone who's not as strong as they are.
Yeah, that's the usual trope. Is they pick off the weak,
and it's scary because you feel like that. You live the audience through their eyes. These guys are badass, elite. Like soldiers, like this, like
of all the people worried about getting killed,
and you're worried about them.
Here's a 5-second shot of their biceps and a high five. Look at how strong they are.
God, it's cool.
But look how much they worked out.
But even the setup of them going in and killing up that whole camp, which is a badass scene, to save the hostages, is awesome. It shows like these guys are afraid of nobody. Billy's afraid of no one. You know, it just shows how bad. But you get scared for them. Because this thing is, even these tough guys.
It stacks the odds in a very accomplished way.
Yeah, it does. And it's scarier, I think, than Aliens. Because Aliens is a similar idea with
Aliens.
The Marines go, because you had the Marines, it's a similar thing, the Marines go there. But these Marines felt real. The Aliens Marines felt tropey.
Yeah.
These guys felt like realistic people.
Well, I guess. Well,
There's more depth in them.
threat is bigger in Predator. The threat in Aliens is not, although because it's just each thing is like they just explode when you shoot it. Like they're not they're disposable aliens.
If
This
I may,
is different because it can pick them off.
I would say that the threat in Aliens is actually bigger. It's just not portrayed right.
Individually, I'm talking about the individual creature is less of a threat than Predator. Yeah.
But the
I would argue
the horror, the slow burn, like is that thing out there is scarier.
Yeah, it's
in
Jaws.
Predator the same way as the first Alien movie.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
Oh, I was more scared than.
I don't think this is. I don't think the horror scary part.
I
comes
remember the
through
first
as
time I
much.
watched this as a kid. I'm scared to death of this thing. This is my reaction. This is why I love this movie. Finally, when you see it, you see at the end, you're still scared of it. He's like, "What is that thing?" And he takes off his mask, and you're like, you're like, "Oh, that seems ugly as hell," but man, that thing's cool. I want to be the Predator. Like you liked it. Yeah. Like you're scared of it, and you're like, "Oh man, that's cool."
I want to have a beer with him.
You like it. It's like it was such a little, it's such a boy movie. It's like,
Get a
man,
beer with
you
him.
like the Predator. He's such a cool concept.
Do you have like beer or alien beer?
Well, I think
or?
part of the reason he actually is so likable because they build in so much
badass.
They build in so much of the like sportsmanship part of it.
The character building is so subtle. It's great.
He will not fight Arnold unless he's armed, so it's a fair fight. And the whole reason he takes off his helmet is because he's just like, we're throwing down, no weapons, me, you. And it's like this alien creature that understands the whole mano a mano thing.
Yeah, it's so nice. And may I extend a special congratulations to whoever created the creature's roar. So good. It was perfect.
Anytime.
I can't recreate it.
Well, and they did a good job with making him seem. So, to your point about him being scarier because he's taking down elite people, as part of that is it's tied to both techniques that you associate with really good hunters. Like they avoid being seen. They don't leave tracks. They're really good at just like picking people off and tracking people.
These are elites.
Things that but like he has talents that are like, oh, I already know what that is. But then you add another level to it of, oh, he's got this crazy technology too. He's got this other, like he's literally invisible. He literally can see heat.
Do you know what's crazy is the government has now technology that does something similar to what the Predator does.
Yeah, the light bending thing.
The projecting, so which is crazy. Another thing, someone analyzed Predator a while back. I remember watching this video. It was very good. They said Predator is one of the few movies where you can turn the sound off, and it's because it's filmed so well. You know,
it's encouraged.
Well, but like it's not. It's visually like it's perfect.
No,
it's film.
yeah.
It's film, like you know what's going on.
Everything is portrayed without the soundtrack, and that's
I think this movie would be awesome if they just took out all the words and just left the music. Because the music, you say, I'm being kind of funny.
Alan Silvestr's
the music
amazing.
was really good.
Classic.
I wouldn't want the music to be taken out.
right. It's
No,
good.
but visually you know what's going on.
And that's usually the mark of any
It's
good
charity.
piece of medium.
That's a good filmmaking.
If you strip away one track of something, even if it's not a movie, if you take away an element and everything else still stands, you know it's good.
Well, the cinematography, not even during the action sequences, is, to your point, they thought through the layering and how the shots, but they had a lot of those like long pans where they're going around the jungle. It's all kind of one take, and it's not like a long one take, but they've thought through like, let's follow the tripwire down to where he's tying it, and then pan out, and then up to this thing, and like they really thought through.
It wasn't
A to B to C.
montage.
Yeah.
Well, the one of the best. A lot of filmmakers break down the sequence, the big action sequence when they attack the base, and like how they're communicating, and the way he ends each shot. It frames up the next person. It's like with the bullet here, the gun here, the gun there. It's like down to the T. And he had that in mind. The way they communicate. And it's like that's just that little bit, which is a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort.
Yeah, it's a lot of pre-planning.
It's not like that's my only issue with most movies nowadays, like the Marvel verse, is that it's well done, but they don't think to the nitty gritty of things. It's really like we got 4 cameras. Let's shoot coverage, and we have green screen, and we can do it.
Well, and it's
later.
also very choppy. Like this, this was is it,
and there's no
each
ad-libbing.
scene is kind of
it's smart.
Yeah,
and they had
it
and the
plays
acting
out.
is good. All the actors are good. You don't think so? You don't think so?
Save my comment.
I'll meet
for
you two in the
next-
middle. I would say
for the
it's
next-
very simple acting, but very effective.
It
You
fits,
believe
it
in them.
fits, it
They
fits.
believe these characters. Were
I'll say
real.
it fits. I'll go
Yeah.
that far.
I will say I
what's his-
never doubted these characters.
What's his name was good. Mac. He was good.
Once the movie got going, the first 20, 30 minutes though,
You pencil
when
pusher.
they're actually like talking to each other without any action, that's I'm gonna withhold like praise during that part.
Come on.
Are you kidding? He's so Tommy Wiseau. Arnold's very Tommy Wiseau.
Hokiness is not necessarily bad.
Oh, I don't disagree,
No,
but I'm
but-
not going to give him. I'm not
but-
going to say he's a great actor.
You
for
can think
that,
he's thinking. You know he's thinking. Like there's
because that's what the script said.
No, but a lot of actors can't portray like
you I'm
there's
thinking.
no. There's a lot of actors who can't portray like thoughts going on in their heads. Like they're thinking about.
yeah, he's not wrong.
Yeah, no subtext. You don't think so?
I'll give Arnold 100% credit
You know-
when he's in an action moment and he's like being a bat, like when he's making the looks at the camera, or when my favorite scene in the whole movie is when he just went down the waterfall and he's like swimming to shore,
Yeah.
and that's a long take too.
What a
and
beautiful-
just in the background, plop.
But-
and then his terror right there and him like scrambling up and just being perfectly still. That's good That's good.
And that's good filmmaking. You
Well,
as
yeah,
the
that's
audience
great
realize,
yeah.
oh, it's seized by body heat, and Arnold realizes that he had to say it.
Yeah, he had to say it out loud in that moment.
He didn't have to, but I think the producer probably wanted
Yeah,
it.
Everybody
well,
got
yeah,
that.
they
It was,
were
it was
confused,
coverage,
yeah.
but I think
They
no one.
needed
But
it.
I think you didn't need it.
Yeah.
I think they did.
No,
I think
no,
they did.
he's like, but what great writing though. Like he'd get muddy, like to
Wouldn't
and
really work, but,
accidentally muddy
Yeah.
too, which was nice. That it never felt like, oh, well, yeah, he's not gonna be able to see because of the mud. It didn't feel deliberate.
You know what's funny? Like in the book Jurassic Park, so in the movie the Jurassic Park, they said the T-Rex can't see without movement. All right, they already make that clear. But in the book, they had no idea. It wasn't until a certain point where he was frozen still that he realized the T-Rex couldn't see him without moving. And it's like, I wish Jurassic
The
Park would
discovery of like, in the moment of
'Cause-
total fear, but like you still learn
and
something.
I think you in the
Yeah.
audience would be scared too. And
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah.
like, whoa, Quiet Place.
Yeah.
They did a good job with the frequency, realizing, oh, it can't, like that frequency works. The discovery of how they discovered that. Yeah, the discovery is
It's an important
part of the
element.
storytelling.
I'm gonna interrupt here and say, is Jared Fogle in this movie? The Shinraku. I wanted to call that out. I thought
Jared
that was
Fogle.
funny. Yeah, Predator.
I feel like I should know who that is.
He's eating a sandwich in prison.
What else? What else about this? I'm gonna withhold one of my because it's good and bad.
I thought of a funny skit just now after Matt said that.
Oh, great. Let's stop what we're doing and film it.
Let's do it. Where it's like
we're gonna take. What's our pre-production here?
You do a Predator where the Predator gets captured, and what's his name from To Catch a Predator comes out.
Would you like some cookies? Why don't you have a seat down over there?
He's like,
What are you doing here? Why don't you have a seat?
I'm
Why
Chris
don't you have a seat?
Hansen. He sits down. We gotta make a cartoon. We're doing that. That's like so I bet if he's so To Catch a Predator.
And then he just like very nervously goes invisible.
Is it Chris
Like,
Hansen?
oh.
Or
It's
some-
Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
He-
Hi.
That's right.
That'd be the best. To Catch a Predator.
That's really good.
Someone's gonna do
You
it now.
guys keep talking.
So okay, I did like the kind of range of the team. Like they didn't feel so disposable, but they also felt like I was okay that they were getting picked off. It's sort of very Alien actually, like where I kind of liked each one to the point that when they died, it felt kind of earned. And
I like the characters more than the alien.
Yeah, that's true. To the point of this movie, I don't think the acting was great, but they hit on a hokiness that I think really worked. Like Jesse Ventura's character.
Yeah.
Like
I'm a sexual tyrannosaur.
yeah.
I guess they were really competitive on set that they would weightlift and stuff because both of them were like.
It seems like it.
They're all like Carl, but that's what you wanted though. Like from the get go, like that shot with them, that we made fun of at the beginning. Like that's perfect way to set up these testosterone like kind of.
It very much plays into the meathead '80s. We're just weightlifters, action, military guys, and then it transitions really into horror side, like to your point about the cliche. Chris,
put him back out. Put him back out. All right, it didn't work.
Okay.
Magic of computers.
You should have rehearsed that.
Well, it kind of just came up.
That's my train of thought.
Sorry.
All right, what else is good? What else is awesome?
Arnold's teeth.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're nice and shiny in the mud. You get the mud on his face.
Yeah.
Kill me! Kill me now! Come get me! I thought it was cool that the roles were reversed. This is what was really good because now when Arnold figured out that he can be invisible, you know what I mean? Now he's the predator to him. You know what I mean? And he was invisible. And that was cool. That was a cool idea because it was the opposite.
Freaky Friday.
Well, I just
God, somebody call up Jamie Lee Curtis.
But I think it's smart. I think it's smart writing. It's very poetic. Kind of
it's like poetry. It rhymes. Yeah.
Well, it shows the
Oh, can we get some AT-ATs in the background?
So I'll just say the last 30
ATSTs.
The last 30-40 minutes of the movie are perfect.
Oh
like
my
nonstop,
God.
like every decision made, the role reversal.
Yeah.
Like I said, when he goes into the waterfall
there's one bad effect with the rope, like the animated rope that comes up with the log. That's
1987,
yeah.
man. What do you expect?
Whatever.
That's it. That's my only complaint.
Everything else though, when he's training and he's putting together the traps and he's deliberately leading him down this path, and you see all the things play out and nothing works, but then, oh crap, my first trap didn't work because the predator's so smart and he walks behind me, but I'm actually smarter because I had another one, but then he's not dead. Like everything about it, the stakes raising, the pacing of it. The last 30-40 minutes are awesome.
It's an action movie. It's what action, like a good movie thinks about the action. Thinks about the drama within the action. Thinks about the character in the subtext, not Transformers or Michael Bay or even
Thelma and Louise.
Well, because this is something we never.
Marvel movies.
They know you haven't seen this. That's the thing. Is like this. That's really the token piece of this movie that is so special. Is that there isn't a movie like this up to this point.
And the fact that he could die.
Yeah.
You mean like it's not Captain America and he's going to be in the next movie.
Man.
Yeah, and to your point,
how many times is he going to get punched?
You're
before he
getting there.
wins?
You're getting to the end, and you're like, this thing's pretty cool. Like I want to see what happens. You're almost rooting for him to kill Arnold because he's like
Kill
He's
me.
earned it.
Kill me now.
Yeah.
Get the ferret. Who's your daddy and what does he do?
All right. What else?
I would say above all else, what draws me to this movie every single time, and this goes into the taking out the soundtrack and it's still working. The visuals, especially the sound also, but everything is so effortlessly atmospheric. I feel like I'm there the entire
That shot
time.
with the tree and the hanging bodies, that long shot of the blood.
Yeah.
Oh
that was
my
a
God!
great
How'd
shot.
they do that shot?
That's another one.
Like how'd they do that shot? Because they have it on a rope,
Like a crane
or something.
yeah,
because
something.
they don't have like the stuff that we had now.
Well, and
They didn't have stuff.
that's the beauty, I guess, of being on set in a location that simultaneously feels
And they really
claustrophobic, but also totally
open.
like you're in this just vast space of aloneness.
You're in the water, the void.
Yeah.
They literally mowed down a forest.
So you're saying they weren't firing blanks?
I think they did. I think they really were shooting it.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah, I think they were really shooting enough.
That scene is actually really great.
Yeah, it's like and it keeps going, like the fear of like what the hell is that? You know,
Who was the one that I forget already? Who got spooked there? Was it Billy or was it?
It was Mac.
Mac
okay.
did.
And then Carl Weathers' arm.
I gotta say,
Him and
I like that. I
yeah,
think
it's so gross.
another
man.
favorite part of this movie for me is Mac. The way his character plays out. It's just a very good character.
Yeah.
And he starts when he's talking to the moon at that one point,
Yeah.
and that was a really good scene. And he kills the boar.
And he doesn't say a whole lot, but he communicates so much.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're right. Actually, we didn't even talk about that. He really is a major character in the movie.
he's a good actor.
Yep.
And Billy's was good too. And you know what? That was great. The choice of killing him off screen was awesome.
Yeah.
That was such a poetic license. It's like you hear this man who's afraid
Just
of no
scream.
one, and you hear the dun, dun,
Billy,
dun, 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 like this whole like lead up to it. And you know that you heard this story like nothing. He never makes an emotion, and all of a sudden you hear this scream. It's like, what the fuck?
Don't curse.
Yeah. And then he rips his skull out. And he rips Billy's skull out because it must have been a really formidable battle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just that little bit.
Well, and the little details too that he went back through all the tripwires to just get the body. He didn't kill anybody else,
Yeah.
but he got the body, the prize that he killed somebody, his
Yeah.
trophy.
He needs the trophy.
Like those little details are really, I think, good, and to the point where now you watch the previews for The Predator, and it's like,
They even call him predators.
He's a predator.
Yeah, well,
doesn't that more of a trophy hunter?
Yeah, they call them predators now. It's like they didn't call him the predator.
Yeah.
That's
That's like the term Jaws.
the shark is not called Jaws, but
Yeah.
we call it Jaws. Or Frankenstein's not the monster. You know, one thing which was good is the POV heat shot. Like, you know, it's him.
Very different.
You know,
yeah.
it's him. And what's really good is that wasn't shot in POV. That was shot like with the regular camera, I guess, or with a heat sensitive camera. I don't know what they did, but they did some effect where it looks like exactly like a heat camera, you know. But having that, you know, it's there. It's the shark, you know, and not seeing it, man. I tell you what, horror movies are the best when you don't see it because your imagination is scary, and that was the Jaws effect, you know.
Yep.
And
they show
the
things.
theater of the
just
mind
not
is,
enough.
No, exactly. This give you enough. The theater of the mind is scarier than the actual thing.
Oh baby. And that plays more into it because he's invisible half the time. So
Absolutely.
you see him, but you don't really.
But I think
see
a lot
him.
of the reasons why he was invisible because the first monster sucked.
Yeah, but,
You know.
art from adversity.
The Mac and Carl Weathers death scene was pretty good.
Yeah,
that was pretty great.
Mac's head blowing up.
Yeah, where
that tiger roar that Carl Weathers does.
Get out of there!
and then like he's like troning around him in this like sprint.
Yeah.
That one scene where Carl Weathers' arm gets blown off, that to this day is still very realistic to me.
Yeah, it's good.
The violence is pretty realistic, but it's not It's not like gore porn.
It's what it is.
They didn't linger on Jesse Ventura's like gaping like hole in his when he blew up his entire
They
chest.
show it just long enough that you see it, and it's like, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
So it was well done,
All right.
tasteful.
He didn't kill you because he didn't have a gun.
I'm sure we'll circle back to a couple other good things,
We'll
or maybe
think
even
of something.
defend things.
The music was good. We
We
music
talked.
was amazing.
What are some things against its case of making it into the Hall of Fame?
I don't think there's anything.
If I had to nitpick,
What are you gonna nitpick?
if you wait, I might tell you.
It's perfect.
I don't care for all of Arnold's one-liners. I don't hate them, but some of them I felt like it would have been better just to not have them. But you know, it is
It's
what
an
it
action
is.
movie.
Stick around.
Like the only one that really made me roll my eyes is when he tries to bash the monster with a stick, and he's like, "Bad idea." Okay, was it really a
That
bad
wasn't
idea?
really one.
It's a one-liner.
Stick around,
The Turbleman.
But other than that, I don't have a whole lot, man. I don't have criticism for
The
this.
start of the movie was painful with the long dialogue scenes. I gotta be honest. That was.
I thought that as a kid,
tough.
and it's easy to think that if you're really immature like you, Matt.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I understand.
Where are the farts? There weren't enough farts.
Somebody throw a pie. Where are the alien techno pies?
Which that's more of like a nitpick on the movie than it really gets against. But
Yeah, it is
I
a
think,
slow burn.
I think it raises the question. I'm interested how this will tease later. But if you're admitting that like it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, he has a limit of what he's capable of doing.
Agreed.
As a performer, there are some things he's very good at, just naturally good at. There are other things he's just obviously not that great at. For a movie like this, does it hit the criteria of some of that just doesn't matter because the rest of it is so good.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view most of his performances.
Yeah, I actually think Arnold Schwarzenegger gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
I really do. People say that The Rock's a better actor, but he's been in
Better actor, but
he's been in worse movies.
Yeah,
where Arnold's a worse actor than The Rock, but been in great movies. You know, all his movie choices were great, and I think I could see that point. But I actually think Arnold's more interesting than The Rock, and I think he's not as bad as people give him credit.
Looks like
for.
Somebody hasn't seen Doom. We got to review that someday.
Yeah, we should. But I'd rather go see an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie in their prime. It didn't matter if Arnold was. I think Arnold's more interesting than Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, in so many,
and actually has more levels of performance that he can't do, that Dwayne can't do.
Like what? Like not speaking?
Like do this.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Is like you get so much added value out of something that is not necessarily good. Like it's
maybe I just love
you
it,
like the corny. Like the corny adds to it.
Maybe no. Not that's no. You're putting words in my. I think he's just a good action movie. I think Arnold is a good action actor.
How so, though? Because every time he opens his mouth, it sounds like he's just.
Well, Terminator.
What is this tie?
But I guess
like that's his line delivery.
I guess the best. Like he was great in Terminator. Yeah. Terminator, the second one especially.
But he doesn't speak. That's the thing. That's my whole point.
Maybe that's why it was so good. But he played it cold. That was good.
He didn't play it cold. They wrote it cold. That's my whole thing.
He played it cold because they wrote it cold.
No, but he did a good job the way he did it. Like the lines were good for him, and the way he delivered the lines were good.
Because he was a robot in that movie.
Yeah, but
I can tag on to this.
No,
I believe Arnold.
I will defend The Rock over Arnold as an actor.
Let's forget The Rock. We're talking about Arnold. I say that Arnold is good a lot of the time, but it's highly dependent on who's directing him.
That's true. Like Jingle All the Way is hilarious, and Arnold's funny in it. He's funny as a straight man. He was funny. He was funny in Jingle All the Way.
I would say that sometimes
you can't bench push away out of this one.
He
was good as what? He was hammy, but he was. Okay, well, go ahead.
No, it's done. Start talking. Go. Perfect. I love it. Keep going.
Ben's pretending.
You're about to hit a good point.
If you're listening to the silence.
I never thought of it that way.
Will you
Ben.
finish your point, Aaron?
Finish your point.
Yeah.
He's on his own. I don't think he's that good as an actor, a thespian. But with proper direction, he can really shine.
And that's okay. I'm not. Again, you just have to recognize, though. To me, you have to recognize that does the lack of actual performances when it comes to dialogue and other, like even the moments in the movie where there is dialogue and from my perspective isn't very good. Is it okay? Like, does the movie reach a level that despite just the star of the movie cannot say a good line reading, everything else is just so interesting and good that it elevates it to a we're talking about Hall of Fame movie.
Like I think you're being extra critical on every line. Like not every line he did was bad. Just the puns.
He has some good line.
He has some good line deliveries in there.
He does. Yeah.
Didn't kill you because he didn't have a gun.
But the whole movie.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
That's being critical because this is a review show.
Or
when it's for the Hall of Fame, I feel like we should have an extra level.
Yeah, he's got to work for it.
Yeah.
He's Arnold Schwarzenegger. He doesn't work for anything.
Is this Arnold's best movie?
You know what?
It might be.
It might be. It actually might be. Actually,
it's in the running.
It is. I think it might be. It might be. Yeah.
Because you could argue with me if there is I feel like just if I'm making a movie Hall of Fame, at least one Arnold Schwarzenegger movie has to be in it, hands without even thinking about it.
This one.
Just one has to check off to be in.
This one.
Definitely
and you would make it this one.
Oh hell yeah!
Not you wouldn't. What about the argument between Terminator and this?
That's a different piece of the pie.
Movie. I actually like this movie better than Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
I like them both, but I'd rather watch Predator any day.
Same.
Well, that's watchability.
No, it's fucking awesome.
Where does watchability come from, man?
Predator's Terminator's depressing.
Well, to me,
All those people died.
Well, that
That
does.
was me if you want to live.
Well, see, now we're uncovering like some Hall of Fame things that I'm interested in. For you,
I put Terminator there too.
but I know, but for you,
Maybe Terminator 2, not Terminator 1.
rewatchability is important to you.
Terminator 2 is rewatchability too. Very much so.
Well, just because a movie is depressing and you don't want to rewatch it doesn't mean it.
I think as a movie, as its whole, some of its parts, I think Predator's a better movie
than Terminator.
than Terminator 2.
I'm talking about Terminator. We're talking about.
I think Terminator 2 is better than Terminator 1.
So you think this is better? Okay, yeah, right. Actually, yeah, I'm being stupid.
Terminator's story is the best out of Terminator 2, but Terminator 2 is like, this is what we wanted to do, with a budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you have no other qualms whatsoever?
It's really hard for us.
What qualms do you got? And we'll shoot them down, Matt. We'll shoot them down.
Oh,
the Anna character.
Aaron, get your laser pointer out.
Anna character.
I told you I don't have one.
The Anna character. Justify that whole thread through the movie.
She serves her purpose.
What purpose is that?
To explain to them that there's this beast out there.
So
Don't justify them. What's your arguments against her?
She's just dragged along for no reason. What's the point?
She was a hostage.
Yes.
But she's constantly trying to escape, but they're like, no, you gotta stay with it. Like,
because that was their mission.
Their mission wasn't to recover a hostage. We revealed that with Carl Weathers saying that wasn't the intended.
Yeah, but Arnold didn't know that.
Well, but then it became apparent, and yet that's still part of the whole.
Because that's what you do as a soldier. You do the greater good. What are you arguing here?
Even when she wants to run away?
Yeah, because you're not
it would have been certain death.
Because also she could be a spy. There's also all kinds of things that they could alert other things.
And you feel like that whole element, the reason she was there, added to the movie. I'm talking about adding, not just rationalize why it's happening.
It did add.
How so?
Did add because explain
when Ben's done, I have one.
Explains the fact that she's alive because she didn't have a gun and she's not a threat to him. To the story element to tell more about the Predator, it adds to the movie that realizes, he's hunting for sport.
Do you need that? Or
yes.
What? Why?
Absolutely. You need that.
Okay, let me explain my thought. At the end of the movie, when Arnold is defenseless, if the Predator did exactly what he did in the movie without the scene with Anna earlier, wouldn't you get the exact same message?
No, because he already had a gun in the beginning. That's the whole thing. He knew Arnold was with the gun without.
He was spending the whole previous 10 minutes in the conclusion of the movie trying to kill him. So, of course, it's a fight.
There was
between
a
them.
score to settle, and you know it.
But he already established the fact that he is a soldier. And once he established, and he knows he's been chasing Arnold throughout, so and Arnold got away through the mud part.
Yeah, but then in the end, when they do mano a mano, and he takes off his helmet because he could have literally walked up or shot him or stabbed him or anything. He takes everything off to do a bare knuckle one-on-one.
He did it because he's like, this guy is. I haven't had a challenge like this in a long time.
He's like, you're all right.
He's like, I want to do it mano a mano.
But I understand that. My whole argument is that the Anna hostage character, the only thing she really adds to the movie is the throwaway line that you guys didn't even remember for sure about the little lore that the Predators come down here every year. Like, she doesn't really serve a purpose other than to be dragged along.
That's really a flaw. I don't even think it's a flaw. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm nitpicking the movie. That's the whole point of this podcast. It's the Hall of Fame movie.
But it's not. but it's not even. It's not even worth nitpicking. It's not even nitpicking.
When we talk about any other movie, we'll find little stray things.
But this is a stretch, Matt. I feel. I'm arguing this is a stretch.
So you're okay with a random storyline, a random character that doesn't add anything, is literally just there to be a part of the plot for no reason, just is there, and that's okay. That she's just tagging along.
She's not just there, though.
Matt, I'll tell you what I took away from
What
that.
does she add?
If I may.
I told you.
From my perspective, it has always been that she's there to add a nativist perspective.
Like just a local that understands?
Yeah, it serves as a grounding for the other characters. And sometimes that's all you need. Even if that was all of it, it's not. As Ben said, they noticed that she didn't have a gun and she didn't get killed. That's kind of important.
I mean,
and she acts as the objective of the first mission. She was
even
there.
though it was a false objective. They thought it was real.
That's why they attacked. She was the not the MacGuffin, but like
kind of the MacGuffin.
It's a false. I mean, to be fair, also like this is a very much a nitpick for an 80s
What
action
do you want?
movie.
Did you want him to fall in love with Arnold? Did you want him to like?
That is the one thing this movie's missing is romance.
Which is good. It didn't.
I don't
need
know.
romance.
I don't think they needed anything. Right. What if they just wandered off and because they blow up the hostage compound anyway. What if they show up and there's nobody there?
No, because I think
what is the difference?
Here's the thing: it added more to the story than that because it added a different perspective than their own. Like he would say, a native perspective. Oh, there's something out there that attacks you too. Like it was a different perspective. That's not a soldier.
But she didn't say anything about historically. She said something about the jungle came alive right in front of me, like it was happening right in front of him. That whole experience could have happened to any of the characters that we spent time with already.
I know, but it gives you. But we spent time with these people, this particular band of brothers in their platoon, for lack of a better word, and it was good story element to have someone else outside of their
in a movie where every character is a badass soldier. You had one. You
needed one that wasn't.
Okay, let me ask you this: Alien, a random character just plops into the crew and just shows up and gives the outside perspective. Yeah, there's this alien. This alien keeps coming and killing people, and I just saw it. I just saw it over there. Like if a new character just suddenly appears, I feel like it's a tighter story.
If it makes sense in the plot, then yes, and it made sense in the plot for this.
But what I'm saying is that the plot could have been better without it. That's my whole point. You could tighten the story.
I liked her in there. I actually liked her in there.
I felt like she was just a propellant to like, I'm running off for whatever reason, and it's leading to somebody getting killed that gives you more information about this. I feel like you could have told all of that with the characters you already had. You didn't need to add this one that just felt like a prop, speaking in Spanish or something for most of the movie, and then all of a sudden is speaking in English.
I think one, it added a sense of realism, and I think horror movies always do good. Suspense movies do good with a sense of realism. Matt, you come from the guys of storytelling in a movie that everybody has to somehow have everything has to be like wound up to a nice little bow at the end. You know what I mean? That it all comes together. You know what I mean? Where it's like, well, sometimes then it's not realistic that way. Everything doesn't have to have characters are important, even if they're not that important to you. In terms
they're not important to the story. That's my whole point.
But I think they are important to the story. They add elements of realism.
So you're just accepting realism equals randomness, and so we should just have random things happen in the movies.
How's that random, though? It wasn't random. Because I think you think random is anything. They're ejected to get the hostage. They got the hostage. They realized it's there. They had this hostage, and what are they going to do with it? So they had to, it was just there. It's not Cantobite. It's not something that was totally wasted time. Didn't waste time. Didn't matter. It was believable. The
most important thing that I took away from that whole thing
that's your problem
is
with this
that
movie.
Well,
he has to
is it a perfect movie? Is it a perfect movie?
No,
yeah,
that's what you're arguing.
Yeah.
To me,
there are no perfect movies.
There's no
well, to Ben, it's perfect because I'm pointing out the one flaw. I'm pointing out really is
it's not a flaw, dude.
Then what's the flaw in the movie?
The one-liners. That's the flaw.
Okay, that's okay. What were you gonna say, Aaron?
It's very important to me that we established that these are really awesome killing machine people, and that the character they discover that the monster won't attack you if you don't have a gun. Comparatively, that character was completely helpless. That's the important part to me.
And also, it shows you that it adds to their character more of wanting to protect. You know, them. Like that was their mission. You know, they were wanting to execute their mission.
It, to me, feels very much the opposite of the point we were just making about Halloween, where it always feels like there's somebody who's totally out of their league. And like, in this case, we've set up that this is an intimidating force, even for the military people, that even somebody who's weak that needs to be protected is thrown into the movie. I'm saying, I understand all that. I understand the trope. I understand what that adds to the movie. I'm saying, personally, for me, I would have loved the movie.
She wasn't a trope, though. She wasn't the one.
She's the innocent. She's the innocent they're protecting.
But we're not worried for her. We're worried for, like, clearly it's not going to harm her. So that
But we don't know.
moot. No, we
don't know that
we do
until
that.
like
we do that when he kicks
3/4 of the
gun.
movie.
No, kick it. You know, it didn't kill you because you didn't have a gun.
That's at the last
Yeah.
quarter of the movie.
But the thing is,
She's there for an hour.
She is, but she's with a whole group of people. We're not worried about her. We're worried about the whole company. In a Halloween movie, she would be the last one surviving, not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, okay, but still, even in the whole company, your whole point was that she adds
was there
to the group.
She was also important. Okay, here's another. Oh, I just realized she was on the helicopter at the end, and she told the helicopter pilot, who was the predator, that Arnold's still alive down there. So she added to the element to save Arnold at the very end. Boom, boom, boom! I win.
Couldn't that be any other person in the
Winning.
troop? That could be any character.
Oh,
in the troop.
now that's your loophole. We can say anybody. No, because everybody else
That's
died.
been my whole point this whole time, though. I'm not existing in the frame of the movie.
because it wouldn't work. Because it would work that Arnold was the only survivor of those commando guys where she survived. It makes it more impactful of their death and Arnold living against this predator thing. So it couldn't be anyone in the group.
Why could if the hostage isn't in the movie? Why couldn't one of the people that Arnold has been? If you develop,
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work emotionally. It wouldn't work as Arnold being a badass.
Why?
Beating him.
Why couldn't it work?
Because
if one of the commandos escaped.
Because it made it show how awesome the predator is, how much of a hunter he is, and how awesome Arnold Dutch, how he was powerful enough to defeat him. It made the stakes that more because the predator would kill everything, and since she wasn't a threat, that's the only reason she gets. It makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. That's the only reason she's alive and saves Arnold at the end after the predator blows himself up.
Okay.
Aaron, I think I totally argued a good points against Matt's.
God, I'm going to be able to
nitpick.
sleep well tonight.
You will.
But I mean, I don't know. I think you're wrong, but it's okay.
Sure. Yeah.
The
The one-liners that you already criticized Aaron for, you said was too much.
Yeah, but
you already think it's a perfect movie.
I love them, but I can see why people don't like them. And I love them. I see why people don't like them.
But so you're willing to accept things that you personally like
But-
for a Hall of Fame movie?
No, not at all. Because this nitpick was wrong. The one-liners made sense, but they didn't detract from the movie. They didn't ruin the movie for me. They made the movie, actually. I kind of loved them. You know?
I was going to say, Matt, one more thing about the girl character.
Hi, Aaron.
Hello there. I am also here. In terms of impact, the point they were trying to get across, if it's true they could have done the realization that he won't attack unarmed people. They could have done that with anybody in the company, but it would have not had as much impact.
And it wouldn't make sense
to me.
It wouldn't make sense
No,
because
hold on. I'm trying to argue just from my perspective. I'm not trying to say what is what definitely. In my head, it makes much more sense to have an innocent get that point across.
yeah.
Now, they absolutely could have done that with somebody else, but I don't think it would have had as much impact to me.
No, but I also don't think it would have made sense to send a group of soldiers down there unless he was a photographer, which didn't make sense on a special mission to not shoot a gun. So you needed someone who wasn't a soldier.
And it could have been anyone.
I don't think so.
I just mean this is probably... They probably thought about this a lot, and they're like, what do we do? And this is probably like, well, this is what we got to do. Might have been writing into a corner sort of situation. I don't know.
think it was a writing in a corner.
I said might.
No, I don't think it's a might. I think
You're right. There's no possibility whatsoever.
All right,
No,
so Ben clearly thinks this is out of the Hall of Fame. This movie doesn't make it. Ben clearly has put his flag
10
in that
out of 10.
camp.
Would not recommend.
terrible movie. I prefer Alien versus Predators.
Oh, my God. Barf. I don't even have a barf sound on my keyboard. I'll just do... There we go.
Ralph.
All right, we're approaching the hour mark. Shall we do our vote?
Mr. Herman.
Oh, my
Katie,
God.
Mr. Herman.
Wants to go first.
Matt's mad.
He
was bested.
If you say so.
I think I made perfectly good points.
It's important that you think.
I think you defended your point of view. We'll put it
Oh
that way.
no,
That's
no,
all
no.
we have is points of view. There is no objectivity
I think you
here.
are. I think you
Right,
argued your
that's the
point of
point.
view, but I think I
Yeah,
didn't
right.
defend my point of view of cognitive dissonance. You know, like making rationalizing it. I think I made an actual good point, not rationalizing a point that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Well, I'll just kick us off here. I think this movie's definitely in the Hall of Fame.
Boom,
What?
one vote.
Yeah. To defend it so staunchly for something that mostly is irrelevant to the plot, that is like that's really why I'm so surprised that you're so impactful about something that I feel is clearly the weakest element, the weakest character.
But it's not clearly though. I don't think it's clear, and I'm not because I'm defending this like, oh, this is the best movie ever. I'm thinking that was not a glaring bad thing.
Well, I guess for a movie,
Like I, as an honest storyteller.
for a movie, what I think makes this movie, one, is it's a great blend of various genres that haven't really seen that before. The action sequences are great. Arnold stuff, especially again the last 30 minutes or so, are amazing. The Predator itself and the reveal and the effects of it are amazing. To me, this movie gets bumped up because it is an action movie. What sells it is its action, and even we forgive it. We're willing to overlook the corniness, and in some cases, the corniness even amplifies the movie for so many people. Like that's just a widespread thing because it has so many merits.
I don't think it's that corny.
It's corny.
I really don't think. I think there's a lot of drama in it. I really do. I think there's a lot of drama played out of caring about these characters.
Yes,
and I think John McTiernan did an amazing job of us rooting and caring and worrying about these handful of brothers that are badass.
And that's my whole point. Is you just said band full of brothers. The female character wasn't like really a part of it.
No,
She's
she wasn't.
tacked
So
on.
what?
Right. That's really just my only nitpick.
I think
I'm voting it into the Hall of Fame.
She wasn't tacked on. She wasn't tacked on.
No, but she wasn't part of the band.
She
Look,
wasn't part of the band, but she wasn't tacked on. She was an outsider point of view that served the plot.
Look, Ben.
She wasn't useless to the plot.
Ben, he knows. He was. We had to nitpick something.
I'm
here.
summarizing.
I know, but I'm. You want me to be like? You want me to be honest?
That is my.
I want
that
you
is
to lie.
That is my summary of my whole
She
opinion.
sucked.
That said, I would.
She was useless. Terrible, terrible.
I would put it in. Go. Someone else vote.
Ben.
No, you're not going to Hollywood. No, of course, yes.
Okay.
That's all.
Good talk.
Me. Go ahead, Aaron.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Are you done?
He's using the trees.
Thank you. I would absolutely put this in the Hall of Fame. So that's 3 for 3. We're playing the music again. Only play the music when it's 3 out of 3. Okay, it's done. Perfect.
Yay. Predator. Into the Hall of Fame. We have almost a clean slate except for Gremlins.
Do we
which
have a
didn't make it.
comprehensive list of our Hall of Famers?
We've also commented kind of along the way about like, oh yeah, that one's obviously in.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
done kind of a bunch of those. I have thought about making that list. I should probably do that.
All right.
Um,
And we can add it to our chart.
yeah. All right, and I also thought about doing our ratings. Speaking of ratings, we will do, I think, a podcast next week. Although this will be the first one I haven't been on, so that'll be a good one.
Ben and I are going to be running that one.
Shinraku, if you just are miserable listening to me talk about this stuff,
Is
then,
there any movies about train wrecks that we can watch, Sharon?
No, but I think we could write one.
That's true. We might be off the rails next week.
Assuming there were any to begin with.
That was so well planned. That's what you're in store for.
If you think we planned it, you're wrong.
Yuck. Gosh.
All right, well,
Is that a predator?
tune in. I don't know what movie. You guys are going to have to pick.
Yeah,
a movie and-
we'll pick it
and
the
promote
la-
it. Yeah.
Maybe it's Predators,
Be a very
maybe it's not
special-
Predator.
In
very
keeping
special.
with the theme of being off the rails, we'll probably pick it like 5 minutes before
What
the
if we
show.
did Predator 2?
We could do that.
Yeah, we did Predator 2.
Yeah, there's not a lot to talk about, though.
Yeah.
I think we covered it all in this one.
It'll be an amazing podcast, and you
Oh my
should
God!
watch. Yeah.
Matt It's home movies. That's what we should
I don't really believe the character motivation here.
Why is he running around naked?
I'm not sure that he actually wants that cookie.
Is that a ducky?
It's about the environment.
All right, Nat.
All right. Till next time.
Get one more in.
What the hell are you?
There you go. Now we're done. Bye.